Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two. This is bringing us to the single malt challenges for a while, good while. We have two. I'll get it right. We have two single malt Scotch whiskeys. It's a Highland single malt, and it's called Evolution, and it is from Glenglassaugh, the Glenglassaugh Distillery. And this one is 50% alcohol. It's got no age statement, but it is aged in Tennessee whiskey casks, and it is imported by Brown-Forman. It's a good clue of whose casks they're just using, but non-chill filtered and natural color. Okay, now here's the competitor, and I lost my cap cover. Had a nice gray cap cover, foil. I don't know where it went. This is a foil cap cover. Black coating on the outside. This is Finlaggan PT Isla Scotch. So this is an Isla Scotch whiskey from the island of Isla. Finlaggan Old Reserve. This is 40% alcohol. They're showing an old castle, but it's just they named it after this old abandoned castle. And it's saying that on the bottle, although there is no distillery at Finlaggan, basically they just using that as the name, some historic thing. Okay, 2021 bottle. This is a 2017 bottle. This was introduced in 2012. This is now it says imported by Latitude Wines, Danville, California. This here is aged 6 years. Don't know about the chill filtering. Don't know about the color because it didn't say. There's like 5 other Finlaggans they're showing on their website. The Vintage Malt Whiskey Company. Oh, and it's the kind of the pressed together cork. It's still cork. It's done a pure hunk of cork. Okay. The Vintage Malt Whiskey Company has a number of Scotch lines. In other words, they don't just have Finlaggan. They got Finlaggan and then these other ones, other brands. And I think they said they acquired Finlaggan from somebody else. The brand name, the line, the franchise. So it's produced in Scotland for the Vintage Malt Whiskey Company. And they have a nice website. It gives good detailed notes. And it is aged 6 years because I was a little confused about their website, like how they were explaining it. And I wanted to echo it. So I emailed them. And probably in 3 or 4 hours, they wrote back. And the lady said, yeah, it's aged 6 years. That's the one. 6 years. And then they have other ages. I said, okay, thank you very much. Well, first thing we know is the Finlaggan is much darker. It's amber, and this one is just pale straw. So this is a natural color whiskey, pale straw. And this is a maybe colored whiskey. Well, I'm sorry, a whiskey of color. Can't say colored whiskey. Okay, whiskey of color. Now, anyway, they're both from Scotland, but one is Isla, or Highland over here on my right hand, and one is Isla. Does that make sense to put them in combat one against another? Well, not total sense, because the regions of Scotland tend to be different styles. It would be like putting Louisiana bourbon against Kentucky bourbon. That would make sense more, but now if you had a Louisiana rice whiskey against bourbon, I wouldn't even do that. That wouldn't even make sense. And they're not going to taste the same. Okay, let's go with the aroma. Smells smoky. Therefore, it's the Finlaggan. Got it. So much for the challenge, right? Well, you know, I just did it for the idea of completion. You know what I'm saying? Like all single malts that I have versus all the others. You get the smoke, the brine. It's not as smoky as the Ardbeg 10. That's aged 10 years. That's more intense and a higher proof. But this is very nice in the nose. Whoops. This one smells like honey top white bread crust. Which brand? Nature's Own or Sara Lee? Have to think about it. I've heard some people say definitively like Isla's better than other Scotch regions. But that's stating opinion is fact. If you said Isla is a type of Scotch whiskey or a subcategory, whatever that's described as, that would be correct. That's a fact. But the state opinions is fact is silly, and I see people do it all the time. I try to avoid doing that. I think I never do it. I hope I don't do it. Now, if you said something like, I think for my personal preference, Isla is the best type of Scotch whiskey, that would be accurate because you're saying for you in your preference area, that's the best type. But don't say definitively. Same thing would be like, light beer is bad. No. What you mean to say is bad for you. Okay, but you get the point. Intelligent people will get the point. Okay. And I don't know if they still give tests on that anymore, but when I was in school, part of your college test, they had a section about opinion versus fact. Even in regular intelligence test, grade to grade, they give you these little scenarios, and you had to determine if what they're stating was an opinion or a fact. Sometimes it would be detailed. The more detailed, you know, the higher the theoretic IQ level would be a determinant, you know. And then they would give logic questions, cause and effect. Those type of things. Anyway, Finlaggan, smoke. Then you get the bread underneath the bread, you know, but this is bread with brine in it. sea salt. That's funny. Like black cellar mold, you get that in this. You get that in Jack Daniels. I mean, blah, retraction. You get that in Jim Beam bourbon. I get that black mold. Peatiness, no, it's not like some of these blended Scotch I have. They taste real peaty, and they're like compost pile, especially that Cuddy Sark. That tastes like you must have just dug it up and it's all not rotted away. And something else. But this doesn't really have the peatiness. It just has smoke. The peat smoke. You know, the fire. They smoke it like you smoke a turkey or sausage in a smokehouse. And when they cooking, malted barley, they use peat and that's how they get this. Now, in other parts of Scotland, they don't give it that treatment. They just, bake it in a kiln, what you say, toast it in a kiln, roast it in a kiln, whatever you call that. I'll say cook it. It's all a type of cooking and drying it. Got to get it dry, and it's what they're really doing, drying it. When it bone dry, and they might just use a gas oven or something. Oh, can't use gas. I've been hearing about this lately. I'm like, these people are really demented. In my opinion, not a fact. Probably a fact, but it's an opinion. Yeah, honey top white bread cross and white bread dough. Very simple. Evolution is simple. Yeah, you get the Tennessee whiskey barrels underneath, but that's kind of a simple type tasting scenario itself, tasting profile itself. Now, of course, sometimes when you state opinions, it's implied that you're stating an opinion. Like if you had some people at work and talking about fried chicken chains, and you said, you say it like, let's say you make the statement like this: Kentucky Fried Chicken is the best. KFC is the best. Now, everybody listening to you, they know that you're not making a factual statement. They know that you're expressing your opinion about which you think is the best chicken franchise, chicken chain. Everybody has enough sense to realize that's what you mean. You don't have to be so specific. Oh, in my opinion, Kentucky Fried Chicken is the best. It's better to be that way, but sometimes it's like a redundant thing, and you're stating the obvious. You don't need, and people say, well, we knew that. Now, if you said, oh, well, KFC has the highest sales volume in the United States, well, that's a fact. You'd say, well, how do you know that? I was reading in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, online or in the actual paper. Oh, yeah. It was, they got the figures from Statista or whatever, these statistical companies. Oh, you get it. Okay, so Finlaggan is a 6-year-old Islay Scotch whiskey. Fact. I bought this Finlaggan for $19.99 at Trader Joe's. Fact. It's a pretty nice, but maybe not as nice as I thought previously. It's a pretty nice, enjoyable, very enjoyable Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. Opinion. Okay, over here. Glenglassaugh Evolution was introduced in 2012. Fact. Glenglassaugh is imported by Brown-Forman of Kentucky, who owns Old Forester, Corbel, Jack Daniels, etc. Fact. Glenglassaugh is at least an excellent single malt Scotch whiskey. Opinion. See, now we got to practice today. We got to practice. All right. My personal, and it's strong, 50%. Wow. Wowza. My personal opinion on these two, though. See, I'm prefacing the statement. In my personal opinion, I would rather I'm not saying it's better or worse. I really can't say. I cannot say which is better or worse. I can tell them apart. There's no doubt about that. But I would prefer the Finlaggan. Okay, I'm going to side with Finlaggan, and you say, I know why, because you prefer the smoky scotches and the lower proof 40% ones. You already said that. You're right. That's the reason. It's smoky and it's 40 proof. Didn't mind the 46, not 40 proof, 40% alcohol, 80 proof. Didn't mind the 46% alcohol on the Ardbeg 10. That's about as high as I like to go, though. It gets above 46%, starts to turn me off. I don't like it. This one's at 50%, so it's above the level that I really like to deal with. So it's not too cool. Now, do I have some 90 proof whiskeys that I enjoy, yeah, still too high, but yeah, like the ancient age 10 star from Sazerac, 90 proof. And there's also an ancient age 90 proof, not the 10-star thing. I've never had that one. I saw somebody doing a video this morning, but I never had it. So it's probably somewhat different. Probably not much different, but somewhat different. So I didn't watch it because I said I never had that. But I like it, and it's even at 90 proof seems mellow. Uh, Crown Royal Black coming in at 90 proof. Don't take issue with it. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, I believe that's 90 proof. Seems pleasant. I think Jim Beam and Jack Daniel's Rye are 90 proof. Yeah, so it just depends. But usually, I'd just rather be at 80 proof. That's just me. I know other people, they only even dream of touching anything that's under 114 proof. They wouldn't do it. Or everything got to be Elijah Craig barrel proof and maybe an old granddad 114 proof and everything's strong. Is that a bad thing? Not bad for them. They like it. Be bad for me. But that's how it goes. Isle of Fire says, I just sampled a shot of Coulter's Run. Coulter's Run bourbon. 88 proof. Okay. Never heard of that. But there's probably at least hundreds of bourbons I've never heard of. Doesn't mean much. How can you ever hear? A guy at work was showing me pictures of bourbon yesterday. Said, you ever heard of this? I said, no. I said, I never seen those and I never heard of them and I don't know who makes them and I'm sorry. And he was like, this thing's $300 a bottle. I said, well, are you going to buy it? No. He said, no, I just wanted to show you. He said, I don't buy that kind of stuff. I said, well, I'm not buying it either. Am I enjoying the Glenglassaugh? You better believe I'm enjoying it. It's a fine whiskey. It's at $50 a bottle, though. Here's another problem for me. It's $50, which is that's what it sells for. Okay, I guess some people buy it. You never hear of this product. It's kind of on the outlier. But then, do you ever hear of Finlaggan a whole lot? No, you don't. But I got this for $19.99. Regular price, not a crazy discount sale. Now, the Glenglassaugh, I did get on a crazy discount sale. I didn't pay $50 for it. I paid $15. Let me repeat it. $15.99. $15.99. Hey, well, that's Savannah discount back in the good old days of Savannah discount. I don't think they run those kind of discounts anymore, but I hadn't been there in over a year. But insane price, and I'm glad I was part of that insanity. So it's actually $4 cheaper than this in my purchasing experience. But in reality, for most people, this is it's still, the prices haven't changed either. Still $19.99. I bought this in May of last year. Is it worth it? It's worth more than that. See, this was a great benefit. I went to Trader Joe's. Hadn't seen any other Finlaggans over there. Hadn't seen any other Finlaggans anywhere. Some people say it's a Trader Joe's brand, but that's not really true. It might be for the United States now. Let's clear that up. In other words, they might have made an agreement that they'll be the ones to handle it. And maybe no other stores showed any interest in it, or just, so the distributor was like, well, yeah, we could ship it to you, and could have been something like that. But it's not a brand that's owned by Trader Joe's specifically for their stores, you see. It's like Werner's Gruner Pilsner. A lot of people think that's an Aldi brand, but it isn't the case. It's just Aldi made an agreement with the Werner's Gruner parent company and said, well, we'll handle it. And in fact, they probably made a deal like, we'll carry this much per month if you let us be the only ones to carry it. And they probably said, okay. Now, you might say that's anti-competitive, that's collusion, I'm calling the government. If you don't believe in the free enterprise system, and if you believe that the government should have power over everybody, then you probably would do that and should do that, because that would exemplify your tyrannical approach to life. But or totalitarian, same thing. But basically. So this is the deal. This is your value. This is your value. Do I wish Trader Joe's would carry more varieties of Finlaggan? Yeah, I wish they would, but I'm glad. I'm thankful for what I got here. So 6-year age, 1999 single malt. You got it. Winner all the way across the board. It's not the greatest thing, but it's pretty nice. So I'm not complaining. And the Glenglassaugh it is worth $50, but I'd rather pay $19.99 and get a type of Scotch that I actually prefer, which would be, like I said, the Isla. So that was a total win for me. Total win. I never heard of either of these whiskeys. I'm just adding words to your statement. Until last night when I saw it on the shelf and read the Coulter's Run. Oh, you're talking about Coulter's Run. Story and account from the Blackfoot Indians on the label, plus I got it for half off. That's always the best deal when you get it for half off. And you can find these deals, people. You think you can't, but you can. Look, Buffalo Trace. I got people telling me all the time, I can't find Buffalo Trace. It's so rare. I said, rare for you, but not for Louisiana, because Mathern's got regular bottles, $22.99. And they got the handles for $42.99. Now the handle is the way to go. Glass bottle, cork, and it's $42.99. So if you go by ounces and you calculate it per price per ounce, then you're getting a regular bottle for $18.49, something like that. Wouldn't you rather buy Buffalo Trace for $18.49 per bottle instead of $22.99? I know I would. If I was in the market to buy it. So there you go, right there at the store, $42.99 and a handle. It'll keep you busy for a month. Well, it depends on your intake. In my case, it keep me busy for years, and maybe in your case for weeks. But anyway, hopefully not. That's not the case. So yeah, I'm smiling too. So y'all have a nice Thursday, and see y'all for Friday. And don't forget tomorrow night, Friday evening, or really afternoon, unless you're in the Eastern time zone this evening, we got Fandango Friday. Any liquor or liqueur. Any liquor or liqueur. Doesn't matter which brand. Doesn't matter if it's cheap, mid-range, or expensive. Whatever you want to bring. Thanks.